Hey, welcome back to Premier League Dad. My name is Key. We are live for Newcastle against Aston Villa at St James's Park, and I hope you're ready for a big Sunday of football watch-alongs, because we've got three to come. We've got three big games. First up, Newcastle against Aston Villa, St James's Park. Do you know what? This one is probably the biggest game of the day. I know it's going to seem, Arsenal, Man United later, but I'm telling you, these are absolutely unplayable at home, Newcastle. One defeat in their last 9 at home, and Aston Villa, one defeat in their last 9 away. It's the irresistible force meets the immovable object in many ways. Villa v Newcastle, Newcastle v Villa, St James's Park. I can't call it. I've sat on the fence. And then straight after that, obviously, we're doing Arsenal v Man United. And then tonight, we've got another big one, another massive game. And it's Roma against AC Milan. Second against fourth in Serie A. Both teams chasing down Inter at the top of the table, but also they've got one eye over their shoulder, looking at Como, looking at Juventus, seeing if they can fight them off and get those prestigious Champions League places locked down. So we've got some massive games coming up. Hopefully you'll join me for some of them. Maybe you'll join me for all of them. But I'm going to be live all day, right here with you, watching games of football. So dip in and out. Let me know what you're thinking for these games. Let me get my mic central. What's going on, Key? And a big thank you, of course, to our sponsors, Midnight, who are continuing to sponsor Premier League Dad throughout January and maybe beyond. So a big thank you to them. If you want to go and get yourself if you want to go and get yourself £30 in free bets, all you need to do is go and click the link in the pinned comment or the link in the description, and you will get yourself a nice 30 quid in free bets. All you have to do is go and set up an account and deposit, and you can do so for this game. As I have done so, I have done it, and I have gone and put this bet on. Let me know what you're thinking. I have gone for... There you go. That is my bet for this game. I want your thoughts on it. I have gone Emiliano Martinez and Nick Pope to make 3 saves each. Both teams to score 4 cards in the game. It's usually ill-tempered, this one. Under 4.5, though, in the game. I think it might be maybe 2-2 or 3-1, but no more than that. And 10 corners. If we can do that, boom, fiver, 50 to 1. Can't beat that. Well, it's not 10 to 1. 50 quid, I meant. I got all excited. 50 quid, 10 to 1. We'll take that every day of the week. And yeah, hopefully we get a nice tasty win today on that one, because I've not had too many recently. I've been crap at my predictions. But if you want to go and get yours, make sure you go and do so. Go and click the link. Like I said, go and get yourself 30 quid in free bets from Midnight ahead of this one. Jordan says, oh yeah, Glasner, let's play a striker who doesn't want to be here and bench our main player next season instead of playing the front 3 who will be starting next season. Listen, do you know what? We've had a similar argument, Jordan. We've had a very similar argument with Canate at Liverpool to a degree. There's plenty of Liverpool fans who've thought maybe Canate should have been dropped because and the same with Trent to a degree last season. Sarah, how's it going? Donderales, Shell, Callum, lots of people in the chat. B. McCarran, how's it going? What are we saying for this one? We are 5 minutes away from kickoff. Jordan says, Shell, I've given up worrying. To be honest, this season's over. Only bothered about the Conference League now. It's kind of the same for a lot of teams, though, at this point. One day or less, I'm going to do it later, Key. I'm leaving those other boys. They thieves. All right, no worries. Yeah, no worries. I've got Newcastle winning this to 3-1. I fancy Villa to get at least a point, I've got to be honest. I look at the 2 lineups. Let's go through the lineups, actually. Let's have a look at the lineups for this one. The lineups are coming over here on the right-hand side of your page, so you can see the lineups, of course. Aviator, Key, you won't talk about how Slot can't break down low blocks, but last night Bournemouth played wide open, but still saw no answers. He has to go. Mate, we scored 2 away at Bournemouth. What are you talking about? If you score 2 away at Bournemouth, you should win the game. Problem wasn't the attack last night, mate. It was the defence. We played fine going forward. We created plenty of chances. Salah missed 2 sitters, and we scored 2 goals. What more do you want? What more are you asking for, mate? Reggie says, I don't like either team, hoping for a horror draw, 6-all, loads of reds, couple of injuries, probably similar to what you're looking for later on today. Yes, Reggie, yes. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Jordan might just be being biased, but I think Sarpino and Johnson would be an unreal front three. There wouldn't be an awful lot of clinical... There's not a clinical centre forward in there, but, you know, I agree it's a very decent one. Finners Matty thinks 3-2, Aston Villa, Shell Magpies 1, Villa 2. Chimey, good to see you, Chimey. How's it going, mate? Lovely to see you. Right, here we go. Lineups. Let's go through the lineups. Newcastle against Aston Villa. Lineups are as follows. Newcastle have got in goal Nick Pope, Trippier at right back. Then it's Malik Chow and Botman with Hall at left back. Miley, Tenali, Joe Linton in midfield. And then Barnes, Wisser, Gordon front three. I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure about that. And then Aston Villa have got Martinez in goal. Martin, Torres, Konza and Cash at the back. Tielemans and Onana. Onana coming back in I think is a big thing for Villa. No John McGinn, of course. Buendia off the left. Jadon Sancho off the right. Jadon Sancho scoring in midweek against Fenerbahce. We watched that on this channel. And, of course, Morgan Rogers just off Ollie Watkins. Luke, how's it going? B. McCarran says Bailey's going to get a brace off the bench. And Will says, reports coming out of Spain that we supposedly made contact with Alonso, apparently, after only 5 league wins in September. I wouldn't be surprised if we changed manager. I really would be very surprised. I would be very, very surprised. Aviator, Bournemouth who've won twice since May. Have a look at Bournemouth's home form. Have a look at Bournemouth. Bournemouth's home form last night was... Bournemouth's home form going into last night's game was... They gave Arsenal a really tough game. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Bournemouth are not a team that we should be going and wiping the floor with. We're not a team that's in a title race anymore. Those days are long since gone with this current squad. We're not in a title race. We're nowhere near City and Arsenal. And I'll be honest, like I said, City and Arsenal didn't necessarily wipe the floor with Bournemouth at the Vitality, did they? What we saying? Sorry, Jordan. Whoa. You don't think Johnson is clinical? Isn't that all he's good at? Also, Spurs fans say he'll finish anything but can't triple. Daniel Cunningham, how's it going? What's your thoughts on Trippier? He's getting on a little bit now, isn't he? He is getting on a little bit. Shall we beat Bournemouth? Everton did beat Bournemouth. Took a big deflection, but you beat Bournemouth. It's not an easy player. It's not an easy place to go. Aviator, standards key. Standards. What do you mean standards? We have no control over it. What are you talking about standards for? We have no control over what goes on that pitch. We are simply observers. And what I'm saying to you is, Bournemouth is one, not an easy place to go to, and two, you're talking about low blocks as if I'm avoiding a big issue. Why are we not talking about low blocks? We fucking scored 2 past them, you dickhead. We scored 2 goals past them. There's no issues with low blocks. The defence is the problem. We conceded 3 terrible goals yesterday. 3 terrible, terrible goals. That's the issue. Why are you talking about low blocks against Bournemouth? What are you on about? It's nothing to do with low blocks. Will says it's not even like we're losing games. We're fun to watch like it was at times under Klopp. We're not even fun to watch anymore. I know Klopp was rock and roll football, but even so, we're boring. I think Klopp had a much bigger squad than we've got to work with. Again, that's the problem. You're talking about a team, I think, that you've got a load of players, most of whom know they're already leaving. Most of whom, I think, know they're already leaving. I think there's a load of players in there who know they're gone in the summer. Lugian, Tall Guys, Voltamada, B. McCarran need to bounce back here from Everton. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Apparently, all your defenders are world class. Not quite. Not quite world class, no. Not quite world class. I think Virgil van Dijk's world class. Kirkes is a very young player. Frimpong, again, he's adapting to the... I mean, to be honest, the issues weren't really Frimpong's side last night. It was Kirkes and Van Dijk's side, wasn't it? And Joe Gomez is not world class. Joe Gomez is barely fit to play. And has been for the last 4 or 5 years, to be honest. Klopp didn't rate Joe Gomez. Right, we're very close to kick-off here. Luke, your words, pal. No, not my words. I've not said all our defenders are world class. Here we go. 10 seconds in. Newcastle against Aston Villa. What are we saying, folks? Canate. Did Canate play last night, mate? I didn't see him. I'm sure he was still in France because his dad passed away. Will says, selling Andy Robertson to Tottenham would really annoy me, to be honest. We can't afford to lose any defenders. I get it's a World Cup year and he wants to play, but let his contract run out. I think maybe there's an element of, is there a sweetener in there from us to get Van de Ven in the summer? Oh, what a run this is. Oh my God, what a run. Is it in? Oh, that was absolutely unbelievable. Who was that breaking into the box with Tonali? Oh, what an absolutely unbelievable run. Luke says, yes, you did. Yes, you did what? I didn't say anything about, what are you on about? Canate didn't play last night. You said Canate. Canate didn't play last night. Daniel, I think Liverpool's problem is there was too much change in the summer. Again, which isn't from slots. I agree with that. There was far too much change. Far too much change in the summer. Instead of just adding to it, as a United fan, we never changed that much after winning the league. But Liverpool have done this in the past after winning the league. Klopp did it, didn't he? Soon as Liverpool won the league in 2020, we played shit. We barely qualified for the Champions League the year after. Aviator, slot blaming VAR and the win for the poor performance, but it's poor player management. He should have spoke to Van Dijk at half-time for his incompetence. Well, do you not think he did? Do you not think he didn't speak to Van Dijk at half-time? What are you on about, mate? You're turning in circles. You're getting yourself tied in knots. What do you want the manager to do with Virgil van Dijk? He can't not play him. He has no other centre-backs. What do you want him to do? All he can do is manage the player. Luke, you said he was world-class, pal. Yeah, yeah, Canate is world-class, mate. He is absolutely world-class. Was he on the pitch last night? WNL, how long is Cole Palmer out for? He's out for a while, yeah, I think a couple of weeks. Ronnie says, so the Szoboszlai goal went down as a set-piece goal, not an open play goal. Did it go down as? What did it go down as? I don't know. Where do you go? Where does it go down? Jordan, we finally have got a good start in 11. Big up, Key. There's a win coming today, and it isn't for Arsenal. Newcastle knocking it about quite well at the start here, I've got to say. We've already got one save from Martinez. We'll have to keep updated on all the other games going on in the Premier League today. Brentford, Forest, Palace, Chelsea. Obviously, we're live for Arsenal United later on. Portsmouth and Southampton finished 1-1, by the way. Atletico Madrid currently 1-0 up against Mallorca as well. Will says we should be able to get Van de Ven in without using Robbo as a sweetener. Robbo is worth more than that. If Van de Ven doesn't want to come without us using Robbo as a sweetener, then get someone else. I don't think Robbo being used as a sweetener would have anything to do with persuading Van de Ven, would it? It would be persuading Tottenham to play ball, to engage in conversations, to engage in negotiations. So you'd want Tottenham to... Yeah, maybe there's a conversation about what Van de Ven is worth, and that is happening now. And actually what we'll do is okay, well, listen, maybe if we give you Robbo now, mid-season, it gives you an experienced player going into a World Cup. I think Tottenham will be quite happy with that. And maybe that helps. Finner says, Jones, McAllister, Gomez, Endo, Canate, Chiesa, and maybe Salah all gone this summer. Yeah, there you go. So honestly, like I said, it's half the team. You've got half the team who know they're going. What manager in the world manages that well? That's it, all. You've got loads of players who know they're leaving. Craze Collector says Klopp's first seasons were also struggling. Nothing lost Reds. Absolutely, mate. I absolutely agree with that. Sarah, sorry, but I don't think Canate's in the top 5 best defenders in the world, so I wouldn't class him as world class. Well, hey, that's totally your right, Sarah. That's absolutely your right. I think, PSG and Real Madrid and players, they don't generally tend to sign centre-backs who aren't world class. And I think that's exactly where Canate ends up. If he doesn't stay at Liverpool, he will almost certainly end up at Real Madrid or PSG or Bayern or somewhere of that ilk. Good strike, good save. There you go. That's another save. Twisted Fate, jokes aside, I'm nervous today, but I've got to back my boys. WNL, Roma, AC Milan score later. I think AC Milan can win that one. I like Gasperini a lot, but I think Roma are just a little bit muddled at the minute. So I fancy Milan to get the win. Aviator, who does it benefit keeping Slot? He won't turn it round. How do you know he won't turn it round? How can you possibly say that he won't turn it round? It baffles me. You want to get... I'm sure you're the type of numpty who wants to get Xabi Alonso in, even though Xabi Alonso has done nothing to justify bringing him in. Slaughter's already beaten him once this season, by the way. Slaughter's already won a Premier League in his first season. Why are you trying to get in? Why are you trying to bring in Xabi Alonso? It's crazy to me. Will says to me, world class is probably top 5 in his position, and Konate is not in the top 5 centre halves. I bet he's not far, even in your... I think he is. I don't think there's 5 better centre-backs in world football than Konate, but even if you disagree, I still think he'd be in your top 10, wouldn't he? He'd probably be in your top 10. You'd struggle to find 10 better. Gooner, 3066. So, Key, with everyone mocking you on social media, do you think you've been cursed by some Gooners? No, not at all, mate. Not at all. And again, you know, mocking's part of the course. Mocking is par for the course. It's what happens in this game. Yeah, Goldbridge gets mocked. He's an happy boy, though, isn't he? He's good. He knows his stuff. Will says the difference between us now and 2020 is we were down to our bare bones in terms of our 6th and 7th choice centre halves. Is that not the case though with what we've got at the minute? Is that not the case with what we've got at the minute? We had Endo playing last night, but we've got no centre forward other than Ekatike. Isak's out for the season. Frimpong has been out for most of the season with Trent being Trent leaving. We've got Rio Engamoa as backup. Luis Diaz wasn't replaced. I think we're in a similar position in terms of availability, actually. Klopp didn't have Wirtz, Van Dijk, Ekatike, Szoboszlai available. No, Klopp had prime Van Dijk, prime Salah, prime Mane, prime Firmino, prime Henderson, prime Wijnaldum. He still had unbelievable players at his disposal. And we don't. So there's a lot of players that... You know, look at all the best players you've just named there, mate. There's doubts over Van Dijk, isn't there? Everyone's saying Van Dijk's... You know, I mean, I just think it's tiredness, to be honest. Newcastle into the box, cleared away by Villa. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff being said about those players. Twisted Fate says, for me, a world-class player must be able to get into the majority of the top teams at the time. I don't see that with Konate, not going to lie. Great defender, 100%. There's a lot of teams I don't see him getting in. That's totally right to have that definition, mate. I don't agree with it. I think the top 6 defenders in world football, I think if you're looking at those top 5, top 6 centre-backs, he's probably in there for me. Comedy Long Pants Gamer says, hey Key, sorry about your loss. I still have no clue how Liverpool hasn't turned it around this season. I'll say this at this point. I would say that he should be sacked. What do you mean by turned it around? I don't think there's any... At the end of the day, I think we've got the fourth best squad in the league, and we're 4th in the league. 3rd or 4th in the league, and we'll probably end up finishing 3rd or 4th. Like, we are where we are. We are exactly where we are. Aviator, no wins in 2026, taking no accountability, threw away the Carabao. It's crazy how you can back him. Threw away the Carabao as if we've got the legs for another competition. As if we've got another competition in us. We're struggling in the ones we're in. Chelsea are asleep. Mateta just had a massive chance. Finner says, can't say Slot won't turn it around till we get the players we need. If then we don't play well, then you can start saying he can't turn it around. Grindon, I wonder how much shit you get off the Gooners today. No doubt Arteta will be whinging like a biatch when he doesn't get his own way. Get shit off him either way. It's all good. Will says, come on, Key. Yesterday we had Salah, Ekatike, Gakpo, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, Gravenberch, Alisson on the pitch. That season Klopp lost his entire team at 3 points and still finished third. No, he didn't, mate. He didn't lose his entire team. That's nonsense. Mate, and hang on a minute. Salah's missing sitter after sitter. Salah's not the same Salah that Klopp had, is it? Ekatike's 22. Ekatike spent most of his time yesterday on left wing. He drifts out to the left-hand side. He's so frustrating, Ekatike. He was shite when he came on. Szoboszlai's not been himself. Gakpo's got more stick than any other player. Gravenberch's been awful this season. I think Alisson was flapping at a couple of the goals yesterday. We're not going to finish top 4 the way we're going. I think we will. I think there's no team that I look at around us and think they're more consistent than us. They've got more momentum than us. Who's going to finish above us? Chelsea are all over the place. United are all over the place. Villa aren't necessarily pulling up any trees at the minute. Delict. I don't think Delict is. And I don't think Gay is. I think Bastoni, yeah. I think Saliba, Gabriel, yeah. I don't think Gay is, and I don't think Tar. Certainly not Tar. And I don't think Pacho is either, to be honest. But hey, to each their own. Will says we've won 5 games in the league since September. Teams with a win rate don't finish top 4. But hang on a minute, you could look back even further. We won 1 game in 12, 1 win in 12 we had, and we are 4th. So teams with that win rate don't finish in the top 4, and yet we are where we are. We're 4th after 1 defeat in 12. Oh, sorry, what was it? 9 defeats in 12. Sorry, not 1 defeat in 12. 9 defeats in 12. And to be honest, Klopp did the same. Klopp did 6 consecutive home league defeats. It was exactly the same the year after we won the league with Jurgen Klopp. 6 consecutive home league defeats. Nostalgia Bunker, today will be a rare occasion. Key will support United. I will not support United. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Comedy Long Pants Game, but to be fair, the league has been relatively poor overall. So although you're right, imagine playing this squad even last season. But then the league is the benchmark, mate. We are playing at the level that everyone else is, and we're the 4th best team in the league at the moment. So however you want to dress it up, it's awful. But everyone's awful. So if everyone's awful and we're all so awful, that's the level we're at. Like, you can aspire to better, and we should aspire to better. But Slot is not the reason Liverpool are awful this season. He's made mistakes. The guy has absolutely made mistakes. There's no doubt about that. And all managers do, by the way. Oh, Villa should be 1-0. Oh, big save from Nick Pope. Really should have scored there, Ollie Watkins. Absolutely had to score now. Liam says United will finish above us this season. No, they won't. No, they won't. Aviator, we know the players can play. It's the manager not doing his job by getting the best out of them. What players can play, mate? This is a classic example I can ask of you, mate. How many players do you think we need to sign in this summer? It's every Liverpool fan who says Slot out, as soon as I ask him this question, they just fall flat. How many players do you think we need to sign this summer? There's not a Liverpool fan I know who says less than 5. Every single one of them, every single one thinks we need at least 5 or 6, sometimes 7 players. So that tells you the problem isn't the fucking manager, isn't it? Villa with the ball back stick. Oh, took it off his head. Pau Torres. Daniel says, honestly, if Delict had been available, I think we'd be saying he's better. Nah, he's not, mate. Timbo, hello, sir. What the hell happened yesterday? Virgil van Dijk, mate, in my opinion, he didn't have a great game. But again, I think that's because we're playing him 90 minutes every single week, every single game, and expecting him to just keep turning out top performances. Forest have surprisingly gone in front against Brentford. What's happened there? Great finish, that. Fabulous finish from Igor Jesus. Liam, who are you supporting for the Arsenal United game? Neither. I'm just enjoying the game, mate. Craze Collector, a lot do not understand the game of football. You can't have it all. Beautiful football and results. It's all about confidence. We have so much good players, and Slot is a top coach. I don't know why anyone would want to back another manager. There's no other manager I look at and think, oh yeah, they could get more out of this tune. They can get a better tune out of this group of players. No chance. If Carrick gets United playing how they played last week, they'll finish above us. Arsenal and City both will. Villa very well could finish above us as well. We only need to finish 4th. If Carrick gets, as if we're scared of Michael Carrick's United, mate. It's just nonsense. Like Liverpool, you're looking in the wrong areas. I am as frustrated as you that Liverpool are playing as badly as they are. However, you're pointing it at the manager and saying sacking the manager solves everything. It doesn't. There's about 7 players who need to be moved on. It's nothing. The manager is making lemonade out of lemons. That is the top and bottom of it. I cannot accept any Liverpool fan who says otherwise. There are still and be honest, every Liverpool fan I've spoke to has said, the ones have said Slot out if Liverpool don't finish in the top 4. I can understand that. I can get on board with that. But no one wants him sacked now. Who wants him sacked today? You're a fool if you want him sacked today. You're an absolute fool. Will says Flamengo submitted a €41 million bid for Paquetá, apparently according to Romano. Take that. Timbo, if results go against Liverpool, they're 8th tonight. Madness. I know, but isn't that the very nature of the league? Again, we lose a couple of results go against us. Yeah, we finish 8th, or we're in 8th in the table tonight. I don't think that necessarily changes anything about our situation, though. Because a couple of wins, we only need a couple of wins, and we're potentially in 3rd again. If results go our way. So it's all that sort of thing. You just need to look at the table in full context. There's loads of teams all tightly congested together, and thus far, Liverpool have been the 4th best side this season. As bad as we've been the 4th best side this season. Table frequently tells lies throughout the season. Craze, I'm sick of all this negativity from Liverpool fans. This is not good for the club. And Sarah says, if we sack Slot now, nothing will change because we've a half a squad who are decent. That's it. I'd agree with that, Sarah. Absolutely. Newcastle won't be easy next weekend. Well, we beat them here. We beat them here. I don't see why we can't beat them at Anfield. But we might not. Yeah, there's every chance that Newcastle do turn up and get a result against us. It's every chance. Brady, big game for us today, Key, my friend. Need to win to keep pressure on Hearts and Celtic. Scott Olsen starts for us. What can us Rangers fans expect to see from him? Creativity. Yeah, goals. Timbo, I agree, Liverpool are hopeless, but you've got lucky that almost everyone else is too. Some would say it's luck. I think Slot has done well to get a tune out of what he's been given. I genuinely think there's some players in that squad who are throwing the towel in. Like, really. Mo Salah, for me, I wouldn't be playing him again. Genuinely, I'd be dropping Salah. Until I see real determination from the guy. I feel like he's lost that fire in his belly, and actually it'll hurt the team now to keep playing him. I'd sell him. If we can sell him this month, sell him. Or just drop him altogether. Bring in Gerrard. Oh my God. I've never heard such nonsense. You fire up the players as if the players are lacking fire. They're ready to leave. Salah wants to leave. Kanate wants to leave. Joe Gomez was ready to leave in the summer. Like, half of the players in our squad are either... Curtis Jones is ready to go. Like, Chiesa ready to go. Like, all of these players that we're relying on, that we're counting on. Gakpo, we tried to sell Gakpo in the summer. Like, I don't know what you're expecting. McAllister's been playing like a pub player all year. He wants to leave. Like, what are you expecting? It doesn't matter who you bring in. You could bring in a group of managers. You could literally give Ancelotti, prime Pep, prime Ferguson, prime Klopp, Mourinho, and all 5 of them manage this team, and they'd be reducing similar to where we are now. Lee says, hey Key, when's the last time a team scored against you lot that wasn't offside or a push or a foul? You're a joke, boy. It was yesterday, yeah. Timbo says, the amount of players you need to buy and sell, how the hell did you win the league last year? I think the players who won the league last year were bought in. They were absolutely invested in what was happening, but now that's not the case. Daniel, Liverpool didn't get them late winners in the first 5 games. Their position would be a lot different. I know, but you could say the same the other way. You can't argue that one way. You've got to argue it the other way as well. What if Leeds didn't score late against us? What if we didn't concede late against Man United? What if we didn't concede late against Chelsea? There's loads of games like that. Oh, what a goal! It's 1-0. An absolute screamer from Emi Buendia. Oh, it's an absolute worldie. And Buendia has put Aston Villa in front. There you go. What an absolute screamer that is. An absolute worldie. It's an absolute worldie, that one. Liverpool, I can see, getting 5 to 9 points in the next 3 fixtures. Newcastle beat them just about. Sunderland draw and City draw. Reggie, speaking as an Arsenal fan, I'd be very glad to see the back of Slot. He's clearly a very competent manager with a thin squad at the moment. Yeah, that's my opinion too, to be honest. What a goal. Who assisted him? It was Morgan Rogers with the assist. Emi Buendia with the goal. Timbo, Liverpool results have been up and down, but the performances have been pretty dour all year. I'm not sure the board were able to resist getting Alonso in the summer. But how do they improve? As if they improve in the summer with Xabi Alonso. It's crazy. Great goal, that from Emi Buendia. Newcastle 0, Villa 1. Fabulous goal. Absolutely fabulous goal. Goals from outside the box this season. Look at that. Villa have got double the goals outside the box of Arsenal, City and United. More than double, actually. I also don't agree with this narrative that the league is rubbish this year. I know you wouldn't agree with that though, would you? Is it just not the case that every team is good and well coached? You would certainly say the league is stronger than it's ever been, and that's why they're all cancelling each other out. That's a very Arsenal narrative because you're top, and if you're top in a shit year, then that kind of minimises your achievements. So I understand Arsenal fans having that approach, but I don't think that's the case. I genuinely do, and you may argue it's the inverse is true with me, that actually I'm saying it's shit and it's shit and it's shit because Liverpool are shit. But I think pretty much every fan is saying it's dour and it's awful and it's all very rigid. And I think pretty much every game we've watched in the Premier League this season has been that for large parts. Apart from the odd anomaly. Oh, Bruno Guimaraes has just kicked through him there. Should be a yellow card, that. Oh, it was Joe Linton. Alonso was wanted over Slot in the first place, wasn't he? Well, allegedly he was talked to. I don't know if he was wanted over Slot. There's no agreement that he was wanted over Slot, but I think he was one on a short list. And to be fair, Klopp was one on a short list as well. Stevie would boost morale around the club, and as a club legend, it would be a dream to see him in the dugout, whether he's not good enough to come in, even as an interim. He would boost morale around the club. He would lift the fans, but I think the fans would also see it for what it is, which is we're not United. It's not give it to Giggsy till the end of the season. It's nothing to do with Gerrard, the manager. I think Gerrard is a competent manager. I think he's every bit as good as Michael Carrick, for example. He's every bit as good as that. But I wouldn't want him. We've got a world-class manager. We've literally got a world-class manager. We've got Arne Slot. What the hell are we on about? Mark, league is no different than last year, mate. No, it's no different. No different at all. Like I said, Arsenal fans will say that. Of course they will. People said the same last year when Liverpool won it, so don't bother me. Well, there's no issue with that either. I agree. I think last year Liverpool didn't. We were unopposed really. We sauntered to the league title. I don't think Arsenal will saunter to the league title this year, but they'll win it. They'll probably win it. They should win it with the money they've spent. Reggie says, what's the sign of a stronger league? Bayern running away with it after game week 5 and trouncing everyone or every team being competitive and taking points off each other. Parity equals strength, in my opinion. There's certainly a strong argument for that, but I don't necessarily think using Bayern is I wouldn't say it's disingenuous because you're a lovely guy, but I wouldn't say that. I think parity doesn't always equal strength, and it certainly doesn't always equal entertaining football, does it? Will says needs to be a marquee name if the club make a change. If Slot went and Gerrard came in, I don't actually think the fan base would take that positively. If Alonso or Enrique came in, that's different. But what's Alonso done that Slot's not? What has Alonso really produced that Slot hasn't? I don't get this. Why would you trade up for? I could maybe look Luis Enrique maybe, but is Luis Enrique really a Liverpool manager? I don't think so. Xabi Alonso certainly isn't. I say Arne Slot's already beat him once this year. Worst 3-star ego. Jesus walks on water and turns it into wine. Timbo says, I think the Big Six is the worst it's been in years, but the mid-table is the best it's been in years, resulting in the league at the moment. Finners Matty, I don't think it's long until we see Alisson leave too. Alisson's out of contract in the summer, so yeah, every chance. Callum Enrique won't leave. Allegedly he is, though. Allegedly he is set to leave this summer. He's out of contract, isn't he? 2-2 draw. This one says Captain Spurs. Don't forget, if you're new around here, do 2 things for me. Hit the like button. Second of all, if you can, subscribe. I am live every single day watching games of football with you. And we are live for Manchester United away at Arsenal straight after this. And straight after that, Roma against AC Milan in Serie A. So, no channel gives you more watch-alongs, more variety than me. So if you want to follow these watch-alongs, if you like watching games of football from all around Europe, then I'm your guy. Shell says, yes, 3-star. Come on, Forest, win. I'm here, mate, sitting on tender hooks at the minute with just a slender lead. Hey, 1-0 away at Brentford. That's a cracking result. If you manage to get it, of course. So, 11.6k subs now, Key, 300 in one day. I know, yeah, it was good. Good day yesterday. Callum says, leave PSG with Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Neves, Vitinha, Akima and Mendes. No way. I don't think that matters to him, mate. I don't think it matters. He's already said he's looking for a new challenge, so... Welsh Wing still going my stance that if Liverpool sell Robertson, don't bring in a defender, finish outside the top four and Slot walks. Wouldn't disagree with that. I actually think that's far more likely. I think the board are backing Arne Slot because they know what he's dealing with behind the scenes. I think they're quite happy to let him take the flak, and he is doing. And that's why I've been saying all along, I don't think Liverpool fans should be directing their ire at the manager. It's totally misdirected. You need to be looking higher. You need to be looking at Hughes and Edwards and FSG and the lack of money that's going into the team and the lack of ambition that we're seeing on the pitch. At the end of the day, there is a correlation between money spent and, you know, winning trophies. I mean, like, Arsenal have spent as much as they've spent and they're going to win it this year. It's a great ball over. Ollie Watkins. Unlucky. Gunnar, Slot was poor second half of last season. It's not good that all those players would rather leave than play for Slot. Alonso is very similar to Arteta. I'd love Slot to remain as manager. Me too. I want Slot to remain as manager. But yeah, it's all those players would rather leave than play for Slot. Where have you got that all those players would rather leave than play for Slot? I don't get that. I don't think it's anything to do with Slot. I think Salah wants to leave because he feels the club have disrespected him. I think that... oh, yeah, that was naughty on Onana. Kanate wants to leave because he can get a better financial offer elsewhere. McAllister, I think, wants to leave. Maybe his family are unsettled or he wants to go and play in the nice hot weather in Spain or whatever. There's offers elsewhere for him. So we'll see. We'll see. Timbo, I've just seen that we're unbeaten against Palace in 18 games, so we know what's happening today then. I love WX Bolts. Hello, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. Van Dijk blaming the wind is as bad as Arteta blaming the ball. It was, yeah, blaming the ball, wasn't it? But you know what? Again, that's what managers do. That is what managers do. It's not them actually blaming it or making excuses. It's them taking the pressure off their players. It's what good managers have always done. Like, Alex Ferguson used to do it at United. Like, you come out and you say something ridiculous because what does that do? It takes all the pressure off your players and it focuses it on you. All the media are saying what a ridiculous comment that was and what a ridiculous excuse and blah, blah, blah. And people are forgetting about the fact that the players put in shocking performances. It's what top managers do and have always done. So, yeah, Arteta coming out and saying that the ball is different and it's moving differently and all this sort of stuff, that's par for the course for a manager. It's the same with Slot last night. He's inevitably going to take the pressure off his captain and say, well, you know, I think it was the wind. I don't think it was necessarily a mistake from Virgil. I think it was the wind. Because then, at the end of the day, if you come out and say, yeah, Virgil makes an error, then you're throwing him under the bus. He's not going to respond very well to that. Hey, I'm Egyptonicus. Or for some reason, I can't send anything in your lives now on my main account, and I'm not sure why. I don't know why. Not as far as I'm aware, you're all good. I don't think anything's been... You've not been muted or anything. I don't know why. Reggie says Liverpool's problem is investment in the squad. Looks to have come a year too late, hitching the wagon to ageing stars who are ever going to end this way. Slot will be fine if he's given the time. Yes, Reggie, absolutely agree. Fergie said RVP could have been killed. He did, yeah. Fergie frequently did come out and say some weird and wild stuff after defeats or after poor performances. He was known for it. I think he was accidentally blocked. Oh God. Oh well, I can unmute you. I think then, mate. I've not done it, but I think I can go and have a look. Yeah, I think I can go and have a look. Daddy-O, he wasn't blaming the ball though. He was asked about it and answered the question. Well, I know what. Let's not pretend that Arteta doesn't make excuses. My messages just don't send anymore. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever. YouTube has been buggy for me. No, I think you've been. Yeah, Sir has just said, mate. I think you've been. Somehow you've been blocked. But I can unblock you. I don't know how that's happened. I assume one of the mods just maybe mistakenly clicked on your name and they maybe meant to click on the person above or below you. But either way, I can unmute you and unblock your other account. I'll do that after this live. Lisha, top managers, and you mentioned Slot and Arteta in the same sentence as Fergie. Come on. Well, I mean, 2 of them are title winners, and Arteta's currently on course to win the title. So let's call it what it is, mate. Mark says Dutch managers never do well in the Prem. Ronald Koeman, anyone? I think that's disingenuous though. There's plenty of managers who've done very well in the Prem, and Slot's won a title. So when you say never do well in the Prem, won a title in his first year. He's not done too bad. He equalled the best ever start to a Premier League. In fact, I think he beat it. He beat the best ever start to a Premier League season from a new manager by Jose Mourinho. He beat it. Twisted Fate, Fergie made some excuses, Key, but nowhere near the amount these lot do. Let's not forget Fergie also publicly shamed players, calling them stupid, etc. Managers these days don't have the balls. Yeah, again, like I said, Slot has gone in on players, so I'm not necessarily saying he always makes excuses for them, but I think it's a managerial tactic, isn't it? That a lot of managers employ is to shield your players. If they've had a bad performance, but you want to keep them, you want to keep them all right and look after them, then what you'll do is you'll not say what all the rest of the fans are saying and what all the media are saying, which is what a horrendous mistake that was, or what a terrible player he's played recently, all this. You'll try and take the pressure off him, and you'll say something ridiculous so it puts the pressure somewhere else. Like, if a striker is consistently missing chances, it's happened loads of times. If a striker's consistently missing... Oi, could be a yellow card, maybe even a red here. Johan Wissa going in on the keeper. No, referee's happy with it. Reggie, Fergie also chewed out the refs, the groundsman, the kit manager, etc. He did, yeah. He certainly did. Oh, Emiliano Martinez, what are you doing? What are you doing there, mate? What are you doing? Silly. Very silly. Liam, hopefully be a good game tomorrow, Shell. Obviously we need a win unless Forest lose today. Villa are in. Oh, should have been 2, that. Egyptonicus, Villa scored a banger, didn't they? They did, mate, yes. It was a great goal from Buendia. Nostalgia Bunker, we can't forget, it's been windy. Welsh remember United were 4-0 down at half-time and Fergie made them change kits and blame the kit man. Was it 4-0 they were down at the Dell? It's another shot and another save. I'm telling you, I'm catching up here with these. What am I up to with my little... Look at this. There you go. I have got currently 3+ saves, both teams to score. Cards. How many cards have we had? Any cards yet? Have we had any cards? Or corners? I don't think we've had too many corners, have we? We've had a card. We've had 3 corners. Chelsea have scored at Palace. Esteval with the goal. AXG, many have been too hard on Slot, given the awful tragedy and the amount of changes in the team. They have to find the chemistry. Absolutely agree with that. That's a very, very fair point as well. Very fair point. Again, some people criticise the whole Jota thing as if Liverpool fans are blaming it entirely on that, but I think there is a degree of it. However you want to dress it up, what percentage you attribute to it is up to you, but it's certainly a factor at play, isn't it? Just how much Liverpool are grieving or maybe apathetic after such a bad loss, a surprise loss. Yeah, maybe it's 5% of the reason that we are so bad this season. Maybe it's 50%. Maybe it's 90%. Maybe it's 1%. I don't know, but it's a percent. It's definitely a percent, isn't it? Timbo, we're above Liverpool, end the league now. And Brady, I don't think he's injured. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, he's not so good. Did he get much game time at Everton? Ironically, Leeds wanted Buendia before he went back to Villa. The Norwich connection. Tell you what, I think we're going to get cards in this one. Joe Linton's on a knife edge here. Villa down the right-hand side. Driving into the box. Pulls it back. Ooh, unlucky. Here's Botman getting it away for a throw into Villa. Villa get on with it very quickly. Reggie says, social media has made people more reactive and less nuanced in all facets of life. Football punditry is no different. One loss equals sack the manager. One win equals we're winning the league. Absolutely. Amen, brother. Couldn't agree more with that. Any word on the Gomez injury? Again, I wish I could look at it and say, well, I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. But it's Joe Gomez, mate. It's never a quick recovery. Reggie, see all the time in the Arsenal fan base. Lost count the amount of times I've seen Arteta needs to be sacked, including this season. And to be honest, again, those are the voices that get amplified, aren't they? That's the sad thing about social media, is it's those voices that get amplified. It's not the nuance, it's not the balance, it's not the boring, actually, patience and time and wait. No, it's always everyone who just wants to be first. Everybody just wants to be first to say something. I was the first to say Slot out. I was the one who said he should stay in all along. It's nonsense. There just has to be some sort of an extreme call, and I don't know why people take that path. Well, I do know why people take that path, but it's a sad indictment of social life. Egyptonicas, I've seen so many messages about how people say Jota wasn't good anyway, how disrespectful. Yeah, he wasn't very good anyway, but scored every time and when we needed him to. Scored always in the big games. He was a fabulous player. I think you'd ask any Liverpool fan, he was maybe one of the best finishers they've seen at the club. I think after Robbie Fowler, Jota, and I said this when he was still around, this is not like a reactive thing because the poor fella's passed away. Jota was the second best finisher I have seen at Liverpool in my entire life. Watching him for 35 years, the entire Premier League, I haven't seen a better finisher for Liverpool other than Robbie Fowler than Diogo Jota. The guy only needed one touch. Unbelievable. Mark, every fan base has reactionary fans. They do, yeah, agreed. Timbo's age caught up with Van Dijk. It's the same thing with Salah. The issue isn't Van Dijk and the issue isn't Salah. As players, they're fine. The issue you've got is Van Dijk is being expected to play 90 minutes every week at 33, 30, whatever he is. Is he 33? Whatever he is, right? So Van Dijk's being asked to... Oh my God, what a pass that is. What a pass that is. Got to hit it. Oh, that was an unreal pass. Van Dijk's being asked to play 90 minutes every week at 33 years of age. He's going to make mistakes. So no, I don't think it is anything to do with Van Dijk being like shot or Van Dijk being poor now. He's not washed. And I think with Salah, it's the opposite problem. I don't think he's washed, but I do think with Salah, what we're seeing is a player whose ego is bruised, whose confidence is low, who is taking an extra touch, who is snatching at things that he never would have before. He's not a player who's banging form and banging confidence. He's really lacking it at the minute. And I think that comes from the fact that the club tried to sell him. Not Slot. The club tried to sell him. Brady, I think Slot hate is very forced. As you said, it's for clicks and views. He won the title in his first season. I think the fans should be patient with him. Far post, good claim from Martinez. Does well, Reggie, depends what else we win this year and in what fashion. Tend to think he's ending the season with silverware, so he'll be fine. No trophies, maybe gone. As an Arsenal fan, I feared Jota because of how clutch he was. Jota, he scored every time against Arsenal, didn't he? He was like an Arsenal, bogey player, I guess. Martin Severide, Arsenal versus Man United prediction. I actually think United get something. I would like a score draw. I'd like a 3-3 with 6 red cards each, and you know, maybe not 10 ACLs, but 10 hamstring strains, so that they all miss a few weeks and a few games. I'd love that. Nothing major, nothing that, you know, disrupts anyone, but just, you know, a bit of a pain in the arse, bit of a tweak in the hamstring or something. Wanderer says, did you see Mark's comment on Salah Key? I haven't, no. What's he said? Timbo, I'm not saying he's washed. I just wonder if he's not who he was. Maybe he's a 7 out of 10 now rather than the 9 that he was. I mean, that's infinitely possible. Yeah, I'll accept that that's a possibility. But I don't think it is. I think what we're seeing is a very tired player who hasn't been dropped or rotated at any point. He's being asked to play 90 minutes every single week because we have no other centre-back. He's literally our only fit centre-back at the minute. And that has to... Like, I'm baffled. I'm really baffled as to why we have fans turning on him. Like, if you have only Virgil van Dijk as your only fit centre-back, I can't believe it. I can't believe we've got fans turning on the manager and not the board. Egyptonicus Key, I heard Mateta asked to leave Palace. If so, where do you think he'll go? Allegedly, Juventus are interested. How accurate that is, I don't know. Villa, strike. Oh, unlucky from Buendia again. He keeps having a go from distance. Welsh Wing, in case you missed it, Key, not including goalkeepers, name 5 outfield players that have made Premier League appearances at the age of 40 plus. 5 outfield players. Oh, that's a good question. Should have saved that for half time. Right, 5 outfield players. Let me get my old pad ready. Let me get my quiz pad ready. Right, 5 outfield players. Sheringham's definitely one. I think Milner is now as well, isn't he? Is he? Sheringham's definitely one. Giggs is. I think Giggs is, yeah. I'm pretty sure Teddy Sheringham is. Mark Ops on Morley. He hates him. Yeah, again, I've spoke to Jonathan Morley. Jonathan Morley came into one of my lives and he got tore to bits. He got absolutely tore to shreds. Like everyone in the comments. I just think he does it for clicks. I do think he does it for clicks and views, and fair play to him, that's his thing, but I don't believe he thinks that way, and if he does, then, I mean, more fool him. Thiago Silva, maybe he was 39. Foxy, I'm really getting sick of these performances. Still time, mate, still time, you've just missed a big chance. Milner. Teddy and Milner, yeah. Not Zlatan, not Gareth Barry, surely not. Egyptonicus, maybe Gyökeres, he runs like he's 40. It's a great ball in that. Who was it who headed it? Was it Miley? Daddy, oh, did Barry play that long? Feels like it. Not Barry. No, not Barry. But yeah, I feel like, mate, honestly, we've talked about it in the live. I don't feel like balance really works. Like, everyone wants either slot out, he's terrible, or not just slot, apply this to anything, players. He's the best in the world, he's unbelievable, he's the greatest ever, he's the GOAT. Or he's terrible, he's dreadful, sell him immediately, get him gone, he's awful. The boring bit in the middle doesn't often get a lot of traction. The bit that, sometimes he can be world class and other times he makes mistakes like other players, he's human. And the same as managers, to be honest. Ashley Young is definitely one. Strachan. Oh, Strachan's a good shout. Yeah, Strachan. Kevin Phillips would be another. Yeah, Phillips. I'm sure Ashley Young has done it at 40. And you said there's only 5. Sheringham, Giggs, Milner, Strachan and Phillips. Surely Ashley Young did. Did Ashley Young not play for Everton last year at 40? I'm sure he did. I mean, he's 40. He's nearly 41 now. No, he only turned 40 in July, so he wouldn't have done. No, it's not Ashley Young. Timbo, I know hindsight is 2020, but I think you'd have been better off replacing Diaz with that Isak money and signing Isak the next summer. Well, again, if we'd have known, I think if Isak was fit though, we wouldn't have that opinion. The problem for Isak is that he's broke his leg. Like, the guy was just coming into form. He scored the winner against Spurs. He scored the winner against West Ham effectively. He was starting to play well, get into some sort of a rhythm, and he breaks his leg. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we've all got 2020 hindsight, but I look at it and think, well, actually, Luis Diaz, I didn't think he was fantastic for us last year, to be honest. It was the right decision to sell him. it really was the right decision to sell him. He wanted massive money that we weren't going to give him. He also wanted a 2-3 year contract that, again, we're not going to give him at 30. He'd have been 31, 32 by the time his contract finishes. Wanda Alessi said regarding Slot, it's not the case of if, it's the case of when. Is he going to get sacked also? He said you and Tottenham are in the same bracket when it comes to that. No. Again, Goldbridge admits it. At least Goldbridge admits it. He says he does it for views. Shell, I thought he had 2, Key. He was 40. Well, he turned 40 in July last year, Shell. So that he wouldn't have played in the Premier League, would he? So I think he was just, he just finished before. He's still playing though now, isn't he, Welshwing? He's with Ipswich at the minute. There you go. Giggs, Teddy, Milner, Phillips, and Gordon Strachan. That's a great quiz, that. Timbo, I agree. It was right to sell Diaz 100%, but he's not been adequately replaced. He's not been replaced full stop. It's not that he's not adequately been replaced. He's not been replaced. That's part of my biggest gripe and why I'm defending Slot, because I'm like, how can you let go a guy who was so pivotal in the title race last year and give us Rio Ngamoa off the bench as his replacement? Like, if we say that Rio Ngamoa is about the level, for me, he's younger, isn't he? But he's about the level of like an Ethan Nwaneri, right? Arsenal, Ethan Nwaneri's not going to kick for Arsenal all season. They've sent him out on loan. This is the team this is the club we're meant to be competing with, right? Arsenal have got Ethan Nwaneri not getting a kick. Miles Lewis-Skelly not getting a kick. We're bringing in fucking Calvin Ramsey and Rio Ngamoa. We aren't competing with them over a full season. It's ridiculous. It's the same with City. We can't compete with the depth that they have. It's not your first 11 that wins you a title. It's your players on the bench. That's the problem Liverpool have. We don't have anyone. We just don't have anyone. And again, I mean, I hate to point at Arsenal again, and it's not a dig. They are unbelievably well prepared for a title race this year and probably will win it in the end. They've got Eze sat on the bench twiddling his thumbs. Like, the guy was the best player in the Premier League at one point. Like, we don't have that. And that's not Slot's fault. And I don't even necessarily think that's sustainable for Arsenal. I think Arsenal in the summer will have to make some big calls that might disrupt them next year. Because there's no way Eze is going to be like fine with just missing a World Cup, is he? Because if it stays like it is, Eze doesn't go to the World Cup for England. He doesn't go. I am sure he'll be displeased with the amount of minutes that he's getting. Same with Lewis-Skelly. There's a number of players who probably will look at it and say, I mean, Ethan Nwaneri's obviously kicked up a bit of a fuss behind the scenes to get the move to Marseille. And, does he even want to come back? So this isn't having a pop at Arsenal, but it's something that clubs have to do, isn't it? They have to manage the playing time and the minutes. 1, to keep the players happy. 2, to keep the players that are on the pitch refreshed. And it's a fine balancing act. And Slot doesn't have that at the minute. Slot has basically 11 players and a couple of others he can call on, but they aren't good enough. We're dragging in Chiesa and Joe Gomez, players who we've long since decided are not good enough to play for us. Timbo, it was really weird squad building in the summer because Liverpool have had the opportunity to build that squad depth but chose not to. Again, I'm not sure if it's a choice. This sounds like I'm being a deliberate contrarian, but I'm really not just trying to argue with every point you're making. Maybe I've just got a natural flair for it. I think we've tried to I think Liverpool have looked at it. I think Edwards and Hughes have looked at it with Slot and they've gone, do you know what? There's a big rebuild job on here. And we're going to back you with it. We need you to try and get us through this, but it's going to take us 2 or 3 windows to get the players that we need. And I think that's what we're looking at. I think it's a transitional couple of years, and this summer and last summer, this is where Liverpool we're going to rebuild, and we're going to move out the players like your Robertsons, your Trents, your Salahs, your Van Dijks, your Alissons. These are all the players who have been so reliable for us for years. They are getting moved out, and we're bringing in Mamadashvili, Kirkez, Leone, Rio Ngamoa, like Wirtz, like Ekatike, young players, and it takes time. It just takes time. Foxy, where I will disagree with you is you spent silly money on 5 players and with that money could have been used elsewhere to improve the overall squad. I can't believe you spent so much on Isak. But that's just a strategy. Again, we've all got 20/20 hindsight. From a strategy point of view, you could say, well, Liverpool spent 500 million. They had 500 million to play with. Do you go and get Isak, who is maybe the second or third best centre-forward maybe in Europe? I don't know. He's one of the best in Europe, right? So do you go and get him and he's a difference maker for you? We would have never known the guy's going to break his frigging leg. Like, come on. You'd have never known that. I think if Isak's in this Liverpool side now, we're winning more games. We're playing better than we are and we're getting more points on the board. Arteta needs to give players chances. Emery never plays. Eze doesn't. Havertz doesn't. Madueke isn't too often either. And again, these are the players where, they're, like I said, Madueke's not going to be happy not playing. Havertz isn't going to be happy not playing. Emery, these are players who have come off the bench and won Arsenal games. They're not going to be there next season if they get their way. If they get their way, they're going to want to move on. Timbo, we'll see after this summer, I suppose. If you go into next year with a proper squad, then fair enough. You'd have wrote off a year for the sake of the next 5 or 6. And that, I think that's what we've talked about. I think that has been discussed behind the scenes. And it's very much, let's see what happens now going forward. We've got Wirtz, we've got Ekitike, we've got Kirkes, Mamadashvili. We've kind of got best in class when it comes to young players. Now, forget what you've seen of those players this season. You might think, well, they're not actually that good. Maybe they're... But at the time we signed them, who was the best young left-back in Europe? Probably Milos Kirkes. One of the best young centre-forwards, Ekitike. Pretty much everyone wanted him. He has come in and done quite well. One of the best young goalkeepers around, Mamadashvili. Absolute worldies after week after week after week in La Liga last year. He was only 24. So again, we've got... Feels like we are getting Giovanni Leone in Serie A, dominating in Serie A. We're getting players in that are young, the best of the young players. It's like we've gone for a wonder kid approach, money ball, whatever. But it's just whether or not it pays off long term. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I can see the sense. I can see the logic. Daddy-O with Eze. He's appeared 24 times for Arsenal this year with over 1,400 minutes. Odegaard is less than 1,000. I know injuries have played a part in that, but recently it's looked worse than it is. Surely, though, if Odegaard's fit, he starts. And I think that's the problem with Eze. If Odegaard is available, he's the captain. He's going to start over him. And Arteta trusts him. And for that reason, Eze has come in. He's joined the team, his club, the team he supported as a boy. I get it; it's an emotional thing, but he's come in and he's not playing, and he's a backup. And I get you have to have competition at big teams, but you're not going to get in ahead of the captain, mate. With the greatest of respect, if Odegaard's fit, he starts. So Eze's not playing unless he gets kicked out to the left hand side. But left hand side seems to be doing all right at the minute, doesn't it? With Martinelli and maybe Trossard goes. I don't know, but there's just, it doesn't feel like there's enough minutes there for Eze to be particularly happy at the minute. Reggie says, on paper, we all thought Isak going to Liverpool would lead to them walking the league this year. No one would have known he was going to struggle to find form, or Salah would be in the same player. Yeah, those are maybe some of the unpredictables. Foxy, the centre-back was a priority for you, in my opinion, in the summer. Leone's a good prospect, and that's unfortunate with the injury, but with Konate's contract issue, you needed a top centre-back. And every Liverpool fan said that, to be fair. We did want Gueye, and we did go and get Gueye, but Palace pulled the plug at the last moment. I think Liverpool fans, and certainly even the Liverpool hierarchy, would have agreed with you there, Foxy. Yeah, and I don't think it was an either-or. I think we could have got Isak and all the others and a centre-back. We wanted that extra centre-back. And that is where Arne Slot has been left painfully short. He's been left short because of the fact we've got bloody Leone ACL on his debut, and we've now got Joe Gomez we're relying on. He's out injured again. Yeah, I agree. The board have left Slot painfully short there. AXG, how could you say you didn't know Isak would break his leg? He's the most brittle player in the Prem. Based off what? He played 40 games a season, pretty much every season for Newcastle. He averaged, I think, 40 games a season there or thereabouts, so he's certainly not injury prone. It's genuinely insane to me. Eze becomes one of the only players to score a hat-trick in the North London derby, but Arteta still said to screw off. Timbo, it's a horrible catch-22, isn't it? On the one hand, you want depth in every position, but then if you have that depth, you have unhappy players. Well, that's what a manager is ultimately responsible for, isn't it? It's just trying to find that balance, and it's very difficult at a top club as well, because you've got all these egos to manage. And ultimately, I think we're seeing a little bit of that with Arne Slot and Mo Salah, is that Salah's on 400 grand a week. He's maybe the most expensive player in the Premier League in terms of wages. He earned that last year, but he's so far from earning it this year, and it's difficult to call. Welsh wing, it's like if Slot brought in Van der Ven. No matter how bad Van Dijk plays, he's the captain. It's true. Yeah. Will Crute, not to make the stream political, but what do you think of the idea of a potential boycott of the World Cup? Germany already talking about it, and I wouldn't be opposed to us doing the same. I'll be honest, mate, I don't know enough about it. I've been asked about all sorts of political stuff like that. I guess my point of view is there's far more intelligent people than me who are yet to figure that out. And if they can't figure it out, then I've got no chance of it. So, yeah, for me, I have no interest in discussing politics because I don't think I can. I don't vote. If I'm really honest with you, mate, I don't vote. I've never voted for 10 years. I spoiled my ballot every year for a long period of time because I had no faith in Labour, no faith in the Tories, no faith in any other political party. None of them represent me, so it's just total apathy as far as politics is concerned. So I get out of life what I can, which is my beautiful family and a game of football with you lovely people. And other than that, I couldn't give a monkeys. They'll do what they're going to do. Corrupt politicians will corrupt politic. And after that, I couldn't care. We are merely pawns in the game, and that's just how it'll be. I have no interest in politics. There's far more intelligent people than me fucking that up. So, what am I likely to do? Key, if Arteta managed this entire current Liverpool side, where do you think he'd be in the league table right now? I think he'd be sacked. Chubbs Warfare, keep politics out of football. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Timbo, Van der Ven is not the answer, by the way, if Liverpool sign him under their scouts haven't done their job. I don't mind Van der Ven. I think his injury record is probably a little bit more of a concern than it was with Isak. I like him. He's got raw pace. He's got bags of ability. But I don't know. I have got question marks, yeah. Foxy, you can't win discussing politics because whatever you say will offend someone. But you know, that's true. I always think of, was it George Carlin who said it? I don't know if it was George Carlin. George Carlin, one of the great comedians, said something along them lines where he was talking about if you sat speaking to, one person, the chances I'll offend you if we're talking about something mega sensitive. If it's just me and you and we're just in a room talking about whatever. Chances I offend you is probably slim. Chances if it's a room of 10 people or 100 people, every time the number increases, the chances massively increase. So I can totally understand why people just don't talk about it, because honestly, yeah, you're going to upset someone. But then you're not being authentic if you don't. I honestly, I have no problem talking about it. I just feel utterly powerless in many ways to influence many of the stuff that happens. I guess if I ever felt like I had real influence, I would probably speak up on things. But ultimately, if I can't figure it, yeah, what's one guy watching a game of football really going to make a difference with? Brendan says, I wonder, in Arsenal's case, if your Eze days are like the North London derby enough to keep him happy, and does deep runs in the Carabao and FA Cup really help to spread the minutes? Well, that's a question for Eze. Would he have been better being a star at Spurs where he starts every week in the Champions League, but maybe not necessarily in the Champions League next year? But, he's still a star, the biggest player in the team, plays every week, first name on the team sheet. Or at Arsenal, maybe on the bench, maybe picking in some big minutes in the Carabao Cup and coming off the bench here and there. He chose Arsenal. He made that decision. Chubb says, would you consider Cunha a flop at United, or is he bang average? Can't even be considered that. I'm a United fan, and seeing him off against City, we looked a lot better. I'll be honest, Chubbs. First off, I really appreciate you joining, Chubbs. I really, really appreciate you coming in. Feels like the first time I've seen your username in the channel, so massive thank you to coming in and talking in the chat and sharing what you want to say, and I appreciate it. I really like Cunha. As a Liverpool fan, I really wanted Cunha at Liverpool. I also wanted Mbeumo at Liverpool. I think he's a fabulous player, and I think he'll take a little bit of time, but he's a really, really top player. And I think at United, you'll see better with him if you give him a bit more time and get better players around him. He has got ability. You could argue that the output hasn't quite been there. Has he still only got one goal? Is it one goal all season? You maybe could have expected better, but I wouldn't be... The same way with Wirtz though. Wirtz got loads of stick, and I defended him and said I think there's ability there. He's just not quite giving us the numbers yet. I would say Cunha falls into that bracket as well. Yeah, I think Cunha falls into that bracket. Chubbs came from one of them fan reaction channels. Do you know what most people do? I'm glad you're one of the ones who's maybe come and stuck around for a little bit. There's quite a few Arsenal fans you'd be surprised who fly in to give me stick, but actually it's they end up sticking around for a bit. Timbo, football and politics are intrinsically linked, to be fair. Saying keep politics out of football is disingenuous to me. I do agree not everyone needs to voice their opinion on it if they're not researched though. It's not necessarily keep politics out of football. I guess for me it's more politics, because football is used to whitewash, isn't it? It's used to, what's the old expression? It was a Roman expression, wasn't it? I think it was the Roman, one of the Roman generals, might even been one of maybe Caesar, I don't know. But either way, I'm sure it's a Roman quote, and it always resonates with me. Whenever the people need a hero, we shall give them one. And football is massively used with that, I think, in many ways. So I agree. Politics absolutely does have a big part to play in football. And yeah, people have got some very strong views on it. I just don't feel like I am well researched enough on it, and don't really have enough of a... I just have a general apathy with politics, and have done for many, many years. I've lost interest in it. I used to be very, very political. I used to know an awful lot about it, and spent a lot of time discussing it, and I was very passionate about it. But yeah, since then, no, they have absolutely blown it with me. And I think blown it with a lot of people, haven't they? There's a lot of apathy out there with politics. People generally have made their mind up about politics regardless of what evidence you give them to show they could be wrong. And that's football, isn't it, as well, Andy, to a degree? I'm maybe a little bit like that with football. I'd like to think I could be swayed on things with evidence. But I think we're all deeply entrenched on some things. I'll never admit United are great. I came from Fan Reaction TV, fun fact, fair play. Vincent says, massive win for Posh yesterday, key mate. Looking forward to you covering some proper football next week. You're watching League One, right? I am, yeah. Lincoln Bradford on Tuesday night. That's the game we're doing on Tuesday. Chubbs, I said keep politics out of football. When I say that, I mean not all politics is bad, but the recent changes around football has been a bit rubbish. For example, the Spanish Cup being played in Saudi. Yeah, that's wacky. We watched that game on this channel as well. Sarah says, two things that messed up this world is religion and politics. You could say religion keeps things in check to a degree as well. I agree, it sometimes messes things up, but I tell you what, I wouldn't like to live in a world where people didn't think there was anyone up there watching and keeping them accountable. I don't know what that would look like. There's some people who just about stay in check because they think there's, maybe something happening later. Timbo, I'm a lot less passionate about politics than I used to be, which is kind of sad, really. Shows they've just ground us down into apathy, which is what they want, really. Yeah. Sad, mate, but I agree. Chubb says a good change with the Champions League table. The way they do it now is incredible. I like the new format as well. I think it makes the games on the final game week far more interesting. Red Rebellion. So, Kiwi have been through both Arsenal and Liverpool squads. Which one are you taking? Both Arsenal and Liverpool squads, which one am I taking? What if I could swap Arsenal's entire squad for Liverpool's? Oh, Arsenal's every day of the week. Yeah, that's not even in question. Of course you'd want Arsenal's squad. Arsenal have much nicer problems to solve. We both have problems, but Arsenal have much nicer problems to solve. Arsenal's problems are that they have too many good players. And those good players, I don't think they can satiate for very long, so they'll probably move them on and have to move them on at some point, or there'll be grumbles, and then that fosters resentment and issues behind the scenes. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes your managers can use that to their benefit, but I think Arsenal have much nicer problems to solve than Liverpool. Liverpool's problems are that we've got too much change all at once, and we've still got quite a bit of change to do. We've got a lot of young players in to replace older players, and those young players need to mature and grow, and that's gonna take time. There's no fast shortcut to that. It's just play games, let them play through their mistakes. And I think the manager too. The manager's a young manager, but I think he's a very, very good one, and he's already won things here, and I want to stay patient with managers. I don't like sacking managers. Andy, I just love seeing Key say every goal Arsenal score must be offside, can't count, was a foul, needs chalking off, VAR must look at this. That's not true. That isn't true. That's a bastardised version of what actually happened. Right, we're off for the second half. Sorry, we didn't even do a quiz. We did do a quiz, but it was half-time. It was Welsh Wings quiz earlier. But we didn't do our normal half-time quiz. So I'll get one prepared for the next game. I'll get one prepared for the Arsenal game. Villa are in the box. Nearly 2. Could still be 2. Oh, cleared away. Lucky boys. Welsh Wing, I passed a major in history. That quote is by Albert Pike. Is it really? Oh, hey, well, let's tell a lie. I always thought it was a Welsh. I always thought it was a Roman quote, or a Latin quote, rather. Key, what's the most amount of concurrent viewers you've ever had in one live, and what match was it? I think it was about 2,000 we had in for the Real Madrid Barcelona game. I think we had about 1,500, 1,600 in for the AFCON final as well. We've broke 1,000 like quite a few times, but yeah, at the minute it kind of lingers around 200 to 300 or 150 to 300. Rosine, hey Kate, it's been a long time. How you doing? Congrats on 11k. Cheers, buddy. Thank you. Good to see you again. How are you feeling about Barcelona at the minute? Chubb says I'd have Arsenal's defence and goalkeeper, Liverpool's midfield, and Liverpool's attack. Keir Starmer's burner account. And Reggie says Liverpool's, what are we saying? Sorry, Liverpool's midfield, no chance. Yeah, I wouldn't have Liverpool's midfield. I like Gravenberch, but I wouldn't have Liverpool's midfield over Arsenal's. Foxy, I'd swap my Newcastle squad for Botswana's national team. Throw Pacifique in there as well to give us some dodgy pens. And Chubb says you'll come good eventually. Having Robbo and Trent for so long was always going to eventually become a problem. Yeah, it's like United with Fergie. We've never replaced him. Probably never will. I think it's the same sort of thing with United with your wing backs or your full backs, wasn't it? You had kind of this issue with your full backs around the time that Moyes was coming out. He still had Gary Neville in there. He still had Evra on the left-hand side, and he was kind of still lingering around. And I think the decision was made to try and phase them out gradually rather than both going at once, as Liverpool have done. João Pedro's just scored for Chelsea. It's now 2-0 Chelsea. Jacob Ramsey coming on for Newcastle. Who's he coming on for? Joe Linton off. Ramsey on. Yeah, so didn't United go and get... You had Raphael. Raphael never really did it for United, but you had like Alexander Butner, and there was a few left-backs who came in all at once that never quite... Obviously, Luke Shaw came in not long after. He's never really justified his fee, I don't think. But, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult when you're trying to transition away from players who've been successful for you for so many years. City are finding it though, aren't they? Look at City. City have struggled this season, and it's happening around the time they've moved on De Bruyne, and John Stones is largely out the side for large parts, and Kyle Walker's gone now, and there's all these great players who they've had. Arsenal haven't had that problem. It's a different problem for Arsenal. For City and Liverpool, there's similar challenges there, but City have got more money and more investment. Chubb says, I think Newcastle bring it back and Palace beat Chelsea. I bloody hope so. I can't see it now. If you split the word manage, you get man and age. So we're aging men, says Rosina. Brendan, Liverpool's midfield ahead of Arsenal's no chance. We're talking squad too, so it's depth in midfield too, which Liverpool don't have. Wonder less. I'm worried, Key. I'm worried. Can I convert you to support United just for today? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Fox says, player for you to keep an eye on later, Key. Jose called up a young lad for Benfica today, Aniso Cabral. Goal-scoring beast. One of those 17-year-olds that look 30. Wow, okay, yeah, we'll have a look out for him. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're new around here, a couple of things for me. If you can, hit the like button and also subscribe if you're new. We are watching live football every single day on this channel. More live watch-alongs than any other channel out there. More variety. We did Villarreal v Real Madrid last night, as well as all the big Premier League games. 2 big Premier League games today. Newcastle Villa, followed by Arsenal United. And then tonight, we're back to Serie A. Roma against AC Milan. 4th against 2nd. Dybala against Modric. Here's Wisser. Cov City, Celtic take the lead at Tynecastle. And Jordan says Glasner out, Mateta out ASAP. Egyptonicus, that was a real quote by Rossini, by the way. I know, yeah, saw that. Aging men. 3-star will pay you to take Mateta. Here we go. Corner to Newcastle. How many corners have we had? 5. I think both... Surely both have saved... I think both have done the saves by this point, haven't they? I think Martinez and Pope have both made 3+ saves. I need 4 cards, 10 corners. How many cards have we got? Just the one. I need 3 cards and 5 corners and a Newcastle goal. Oh no, 4 corners. 3 cards, 4 corners and a Newcastle goal for 50 quid. Yes, come on. Go and get yourself a nice in-play bet with Midnight. If you haven't yet, go and check out Midnight. Get yourself 30 quid in free bets. Bet £10, get 30 quid in free bets. Click the link in the comments or the link in the description. I have gone for Martinez 3 saves, that's happened. Pope 3 saves, that's happened. Under 5 goals. There's not going to be 5 goals in this. 10 corners, there's been 6 already, and I need 4 cards. I think cards is going to let me down in it. I need 3 cards and 4 corners plus a Newcastle goal for 50 quid. Come on, let's have it. Timbo, stop with the Rossini disrespect. He's at the wheel and taking us back to the top. Chubb says Nottingham Forest go down with Wolves and Burnley. Hey, I wouldn't disagree with that. The way they're playing at the minute. Ben says Palace are going down too at this rate. Palace are sinking like a stone. They really do need to get someone in. I think there's a real chance that Glasner walks. Or that he's not going to walk. He's not going to walk, is he? He's trying to get himself sacked so he gets that payoff. Daddy-O, I think Palace need to sack Glasner now because that situation is a mess. I feel so bad for the fans. It's so unfortunate, isn't it, that this season, like, they win the FA Cup, they're in Europe, and they can't even enjoy that. It's sad. It's really sad, innit, for Palace. It's a great club, and they're just all over the place at the minute. Foxy, Sarri having the same old issue with Lazio right now. They sold all the key players this window. Tati, Guendouzi and Romagnoli on the move to Saudi. A lot of drama behind the scenes. And Chubbs, what a fall from grace. I'd blame the fact that they don't reinvest into sales properly. Yeah, very true. Great spin there. Watkins into the area. Jordan, people say we're going down. You're clueless now. Munoz back and Sarr. We'll be fine. We've been decent today. Just Mateta can't finish. Xerxes injured, is he? Have we got the United lineups yet? Let's have a look and see if we've got any United. I don't think we have got the United lineups. I'll keep you updated as soon as we've got Arsenal United lineups. Has a strain, apparently. Chubb says it's not even Glasner's fault, in my opinion. I think it's down to not replacing Eze, Elise, Gay. Soon to be Mateta. Probably won't replace Wharton when he goes. That's true. Yeah. And that's what he's whinging about, isn't it? Like, again, he's come out and had a pop at Palace last week. Pop at, was it Steve Parish he's had a go at? For the fact that they've sold Mark Gay, like, the morning of a game. Newcastle chance here should be. Oh, have you missed it? Is that Voltemada in the middle? Who's missed that in the middle? Barnes. Oh, you've really got to score that. You've got to score that. He's onside, and it is Harvey Barnes through the middle. He keeps himself on. Oh, he's got to connect with that. He's absolutely got to. It's a great ball from Trippier. Oh, and Gordon and Barnes. One of them has to put that in. Foxy, onto my final game with the Aka. Barca and over 2.5 needed. Vamos! Evan, 9443. Come on, Villa. And come on, the Rangers, says Brady. Chubbs, I don't think Wood will make it much of an impact. I think the manager they have is far too defensive. They don't score enough goals. And Timbo, after all the sticks Sanchez got versus Arsenal, he's been brilliant in every game since. I think he's become quite underrated, to be honest. Genuinely been one of our best players this year. Egyptonica says, Key, would you rather take Xabi Alonso or keep Slot? We've done this. We've done this before, and I don't want to get too heavily into it again, but it's absolutely 1,000,000% keep Arne Slot. It's nothing to do with Xabi Alonso either. I don't want to sack Arne Slot, and I think it's mad that there's people out there that would. I don't get it. Opinions for Norwich v Coventry. Norwich. I think Norwich have got a great chance for a draw there. The way they're playing, Norwich have got a fantastic chance for a draw. Philippe Clement's come in. He's certainly getting a tune out of him, isn't he? Brendan, would you rather be a supporter of a Palace or a Leicester and have a glory day but turbulence following it, or a steady, consistent club like Brighton? I don't know. I only know one speed as a supporter. I've only ever supported Liverpool, so I don't really know. I guess I wouldn't mind. I just like watching football. Well, you don't support to win the trophy. Like the trophy's nice and it should be a rarity. When you support a big club, like you get used to the success and the trophies, and then you start being a bit of a prick when you don't get them. And I don't like that entitlement. Nobody's entitled to win a game of football just because you've got a big name or whatever. And then you've got people like him before, Numpty's coming in saying, standards though, okay, standards. It's nothing to do with a drop in standards. It's nothing to do with that. Jake Heike, thoughts on the Man United v Arsenal game? I think United get something in it. I'd say United or draw. Timbo, anyone who still thinks Sanchez is shite doesn't watch us enough, judging by that sigh, you're one of them, Key. Mate, it literally wasn't that long ago that he was throwing them in for you. I in the Arsenal game in the Carabao Cup, I have watched Chelsea a lot this season. I mean, you can see that on the lives. But, yeah, it wasn't that. I think the Carabao Cup game against Arsenal, he threw 2 in that one. That was only a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has improved objectively to what he was. But I still think he's not good enough if you're going to challenge the top 4 or 5 places in the league. You're never ever going to get there with Robert Sanchez in goal. Chubbs, I'll be back in a mo, lads. Just going to go the shop for some grub. Enjoy. OH says this is an interesting take, but I think United take the 3. Maybe. We'll be here for it. Either way, we will be there for it. Biggest shock to me in terms of transfers, everyone made fun of Newcastle getting Voltemada and that they overpaid, but he's been one of the best signings in my opinion. Goal versus Sunderland too. Yeah, great goal in the Sunderland game, wasn't it? Foxy says the Wigan and Birmingham fans always said they'd still take the cup wins and get relegated rather than staying up in the Prem. Yeah, very true. One of my best mates is a Wigan fan. Leon Bailey coming on for Jadon Sancho. Leon Bailey, who's been on loan at Roma, back at Villa now. Jordan, let them score 5. I don't care at this point. And Timbo, that's the only shit game he's had this year. It just so happens that's the one everyone watched. No, I've watched. I think he's. Do you know what? Okay, maybe it's not Robert Sanchez. Maybe it's your defence as a whole. Wisser, unlucky. Here's Gordon. Give it away. Tonali, strike again. Villa now on the counter attack. Unlucky, did well there. Why are United fans so confident? I think it's purely because of the fact they've won a game against City, and they've got Michael Carrick in now. Even though we watched United against Brighton, we watched United against Burnley. They had that performance against City, and it was a good performance against City. But problems still exist for Man United. They really do. So yeah, they'll have to play very, very well to go to Arsenal and win. But I think they can certainly get a point. I think they can catch Arsenal off guard. Brendan, don't start. Don't start. Don't wind me up. Timbo, our centre-backs don't help Sanchez at all. I don't think any of our centre-backs are actually that bad. It's just that there's no leadership amongst any of them. I don't even think, Badiashile, Tosin, Fafana. a Champong. Like these are not centre backs that should be in a top. Not even like on the bench in a top 4 battle. They just shouldn't be. Razine, mate, I've heard the news from an unauthorised source that Man City refunded the ticket price to away fans on their last away at Bodo. Yes, it is true, yeah. Erling Haaland and various players in the team, they paid back. It was only 26 quid, it wasn't much. They've paid back Bailey, unlucky corner. They've paid back the players. They've paid back the fans that travelled to Bodo. It's like I said, it's only 25 quid, but it was just the point and the principle of it. Ben says they'll start singing Carrick at the wheel if they win 2 in a week. Honestly, I kind of want them to win today in many ways, just so that they give Carrick... I can't ever support United, and I never would. I never have and I never would. But if they do win today, there'll be absolutely a clamour for some United fans to give him just the whole, Rio Ferdinand thing again. Give him the contract, write whatever numbers you want down, Ollie. It's yours. Ollie's at the wheel. Yeah, the same thing will happen with Carrick. They'll get carried away. Foxy, this will be the season where you don't have to be a great team to win the Prem, and you can be a poor team with no consistency and get 4th. Very true, yes. Very, very true. Palace now 3-0 down. Fernandes with a goal from the penalty spot. Enzo Fernandes 3-0 in front. Timbo, if you put a Colwill, Chalobah or Fofana next to a Van Dijk or a Terry, and they're definitely good enough like Cahill was back in the day. Cahill was unreal. I mean, Colwill is good, but he's just always injured. He's a bit like our Joe Gomez. Chalobah, again, he's not bad. Well, he's also not great. Maybe Chalobah is. Trevor Chalobah probably is a player you can have on the bench if you're competing for the top 4. Fofana's not. He's a problem. Colwill, injury prone. Elanga and Voltemade coming on here now for Gordon and Wissa. A couple of changes for Newcastle. Three-star Dice looking as though he's got them doing the bleep test on the match day out there. 56 minutes and we look knackered, but the stubborn fool won't change. Lord Yorkshire says one swallow doesn't make a summer. Is that right? It's very true, yeah. But we outplayed Arsenal earlier in the season, but lost. We need the same performance, but win. We watched that game on this channel. I have to disagree. I don't think United outplayed Arsenal at Old Trafford. I think that was a very, very good away performance. To go there, United didn't create that much, to be honest. I think you had a couple of chances, and then after that, Arsenal scored off a set piece, and then they sat back and defended, and maybe apart from a late penalty appeal, United would have been, I think a point might have been the further result, but I don't think you battered Arsenal. RGG, can you please show FC Midtjylland's next match in the Europa League? I really was looking to do that. Yeah, I might do that. I like Midtjylland a lot, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that game in the Europa League. It's the final group stage game, isn't it? OH after Ipswich's defeat at Bramall Lane yesterday. How do you think they lead the top 2 race for them? I think they do. I think Ipswich will still come up. I'm confident that they come up. Davey says, Arsenal's 11 is Raya, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, Hincapié, Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, Jesus. That's a very, very good one. Very, very good lineup. Jesus starting, I like. Trossard off the left, I maybe would have gone with Martinelli, but okay, fair enough. Maybe he's going... Trossard a little bit better defensively, isn't he? So maybe he's worried about Mbermo down that side. So he's going to ask Trossard and Hincapié to kind of double up on Mbermo. Palace in relegation form, says Callum, and Foxy says Midtjylland have such a good mix of talents. Francolino, Osorio, Gagorza, Simsia. Yeah, we could be here all day with Midtjylland. I love Midtjylland. They're definitely my Danish side. Egypt Tonica says Raya was class for us that game. Yeah, he pulled off a couple of big saves, didn't he? And Reggie, I think you're overrating Liverpool's squad this season. I do too, yeah. Nelly coming on is always clutch. I don't know what that means. But I like Martinelli. Like him a lot. Foxy, Midtjylland through as one of the top 8 sides, so you'll get a chance to do Watchalong in the knockouts. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's the problem is if I did do a Midtjylland game, like, I don't necessarily always pick the game just for, like, ooh, what would get the most views, but I can't pick a game that I know would get terrible views. Like, at some point, like, when I started the channel, it was just a case of let's watch whatever's on. But, I mean, I don't know if I could pick Midtjylland and expect to get maybe more than a few thousand. Egyptonica says, did you see what Martinelli did on the counter from a corner versus Inter? Amazing ball to Gyökeres, who then smacked it top line. Puskas. I did. We watched that game, mate. Yeah. Rafinha has won 4 of his first 5 games. He's ageing these men. Lewis Hall, great ball in. Far post. It's going to be a corner, is it? No. Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka, or Gakpo, Ekitike, Salah? Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka. Yeah. I would take Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka. Because with Arsenal, I only have to get rid of one of them. With Liverpool, I'm moving 2 out. I think Martinelli's better than Gakpo. And I think Saka is better than current Salah. He's not better than Salah, like... If Salah's like playing how he did, not even just playing how he did last season, Salah is absolutely better than Saka, but current Salah is dreadful. So yeah, for me, I would take, based off what we've seen, I would absolutely take Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka. Davey, United side is Lamens, Dalot, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw. Maguire starting, that's interesting, okay. Casemiro, Menu, Ahmad, Fernandez, Dorgu and Burmo. Why has he not got Cunha in there? I'm amazed that he's not put Cunha in. See, that's baffling to me. I'd have put Cunha in. Current Saka hasn't been very good either. No, he hasn't. Saka's been underwhelming this season as well, but I don't think he's been anywhere near as bad as Mo Salah. So just on that basis, I would pick Saka over Salah. But if it's just like an ordinary game, if we're not taking in this season into a fact, then it's Salah every day of the week. Of course it is. Madueke's better than Saka. He has been this season, hasn't he? Yeah. I think Martinelli's better than Saka. I know it's slightly different. They're on different sides of the pitch, but Martinelli's my favourite Arsenal attacker, to be honest. He's a player I'd love for Liverpool. I actually think Martinelli, he's still young enough that we could sign him. There's a real, like, I don't think Martinelli is appreciated at Arsenal, and I don't think he's appreciated by Arteta, and I think the shades of, like, Salah at Chelsea, and Martinelli could and probably will go somewhere else and be absolutely unplayable. I am a sofa. Will you be watching the game in 1 hour? I am, yeah. We'll be watching the game in 1 hour, and I'll also be watching the game tonight between Roma and AC Milan. Timbo says the amount of Arsenal fans saying thank you, Chelsea, for Madueke. He's not got a Premier League goal or assist since January 2025. Davey, Arsenal 5-1 today. Oh, hey, Chew wins the SPL. I'm hoping Hearts. I'd like to see the old Jam Tarts do it, but I'm not sure if they will in the end. I think it's going to be a difficult end of the season, really, for them to win it. Maguire is world class. What do you mean? Why is he in the squad? But I'd definitely place Cunha in that squad. He was amazing against us last time out. Maguire's not world class, but he's probably United's best defender. Yeah, I think he's United's best defender. He's not world class. Here we go. Corner to Newcastle. Ball whipped in. Headed away. Oh, no. Back out. It's going to be a goal kick. Goal kick. Tielemans has gone down injured here for Villa. Reggie says, rival fans have never rated Saka once. Saka is one of those players that when you watch in person, they're clearly the best player on the pitch. Doesn't always show on TV. Oh, you're not one of them, are you? When you watch in person, you see more than you do on the pitch. Behave yourself, mate. Behave yourself. I've got 46 cameras. You ain't going to see more than me in your paddock seat. Lower paddock. 46 cameras here. From all angles, slow-mo and everything. I can watch it back. You don't see more than me. I'm not having a pop at you, mate. I hope you know. But yeah, it always baffles me when match going. It's like a lot of Liverpool fans, match going Liverpool fans are like, oh yeah, you know, if you go the match, you see this, and this. Nah, come on, mate. I've done that dance. Adam Wharton, red card. Oh no, it's all coming apart at the seams for Crystal Palace. Adam Wharton, red card. Oh no, let's see if we can get him this month. He might be up for moving this month. I love Bolts. It's funny how Maguire was bought for big money but showed nothing for his price tag. As of recently, he's proved his recent price tag. Proud of him. There's rumours that Maguire's going to go to Everton, believe it or not. Apparently Maguire to Everton in the summer. Gav says you should have done our game, more goals and better. Good to see you, Gav. Jake says Wharton's being sent off. I know, yeah, I've just seen. Adam Wharton sent off. Tyrone Mings about to come on for Villa. Tielemans going off. And Reggie, you don't think players watch different in person? Busquets the prime example. Looks mediocre on TV and in person. No, see, I disagree. I don't think Busquets looks mediocre on TV at all. And I don't think players watch different in person. No, I think, listen, there's certainly some things that you see in person that aren't covered by cameras. I would agree with that. There's certainly some things that are seen in person that aren't seen on cameras. But the shitloads that isn't seen in person that is seen on cameras. Absolutely shitloads. If you watch every game in a season from one spot, you know, halfway down a stadium, you know, you're going to see less than I do over a 38-game season. I'm going to have I think we'd have different opinions. I think you form different opinions as a match-going fan, and those opinions are generally less well-informed because you've seen a lot less of the action. Goes both ways, yeah. Yeah, goes both ways. I think there's an argument either way. David Moore says there needs to be a little bit more movement in front of the ball for Rangers. Thilo Asgard is the only one who's really showing an effort to get on the ball and make things happen. Thilo Asgard, Wigan's finest. He started to play well though for Rangers. Saw his free kick the other day. He's getting there for Rangers. Zia Khalid. Key, if we beat United today, you should stop hating. You should stop hating. I don't hate. I don't hate. I don't know where you get that from, mate. Gav, I've been away for a while. That's why I haven't made any highlight videos for UK. I tried to do your game yesterday, but it wouldn't let me download your stream. I've no idea why, mate. No, it's all good. Don't worry about it, mate. Timbo says it's gone under the radar how rubbish Wharton has been this season. I'm not sure he's the answer for every big team, like people are saying. 60 million quid apparently is the asking price for him this summer. Apparently he has a gentleman's agreement to go for 60 million quid. Foxy, Busquets is up there in my top 3 performances for players watched at a live game. Just makes everything look so simple. And Graham, they don't show streakers on the telly. Well, yeah, you'll see more streakers, definitely, over the course of a season. Don't really see streakers anymore, do you? Well, I've not seen any streak. I think was the last streaker at the World Cup final. There's a streaker at the World Cup final, but I don't remember any other. We've not had too many streakers full stop in football anymore. Bring streaking back. Bring back streaking. Make streaking great again. Reggie says, need to head out to the pub now for the next instalment in Arsenal's title procession. Catch you on the next one, mate. All the best. Take it easy, Reggie. Hopefully there's no Reggies coming in the chat while you're away. But yeah, take it easy. Have a nice time at the pub, buddy. Pau Torres, Buendia, Tielemans off. Mings, Digne, Bo Harder on. Last 15 here at Villa. At St James's Park. Villa hoping to hang on. Desperately need a Newcastle goal and some cards. It's fizzling out a little bit, this one. What was Wharton sent off for? Is it second yellow? Yeah, second yellow. Reggie, oh sorry, we've done that one. Sorry, Ben, Champions League final 2019. How's the game been? Pure action or no action at all? This one's been a little bit dour. I've got to say, it has been a little bit dour. It's been a bit flat. So yeah, a little bit flat, I would say, but such is life. I really thought we'd see Villa. Oh, into the box. That's a claim for the penalty. Massive claim for the penalty. Newcastle get away with the ball here. Ref says no. Here's Elanga down the right-hand side. He's got Voltamada in the middle if you can find him. Cleared away by Villa. Too easy, that. Foxy, Messi first hat-trick in Ecuador to send Argentina to the World Cup, and second is a Liverpool flop Arthur Melo. He was brilliant for Gremio. Hearts have gifted a huge chance, but huge save by Schmeichel. Konza heading the ball away. No check, no penalty at all. Morgan Rogers screaming for the penalty. Was it in the area? No. It was outside the area, but it probably was a foul. No, actually, I don't think it was, you know. I don't think it was. You can't be given a foul for that. And where are we up to in terms of corners? Corners on this one. Right, I think that's it. I think I've done corners, but I need yellow cards now. I need 3 yellow cards in the last 15 minutes here. Oh, unlucky. Martinez nearly. Shell, hope it's not too bad for the Arsenal game, Key. It'll be fine. We'll be okay. Timbo says Newcastle and Brentford losing mean Liverpool won't go below 6th now. And this is a 6-pointer for Villa, honestly. Going away with a win against Newcastle in a title charge is a hard thing to do. And what happened with Arthur with you? Injured, he really struggled to adapt to Europe. I think he was too slow. I think I don't know what it was. He obviously had a lot of... When he was on the ball, I think he was one of them players who, on the ball, they could do an awful lot, but I think physically that was the problem. I think the Premier League was too quick for him. And maybe to some degree... I mean, Serie A and La Liga wasn't much better, was it? But yeah, I just feel like the Premier League was too fast for him. And I remember vividly the game away at Napoli in the Champions League. Oh, he got absolutely passed around. Physically, he's miles off it. He was miles off it. It was like he was running through treacle. Here's Villa into the box. Touch. Newcastle get it away. Oh, Elanga, that's a yellow card every day of the week there for Luca Dean. We'll take that. There you go. We only need another 2 yellows and a Newcastle goal. 2 yellow cards and a Newcastle goal for 50 quid for Key. Can we get another 2 yellows? Hoping the ref gets that was just him warming his card up. He's getting ready for more and more cards here. Timbo, I've just realised United Arsenal will be the first Arsenal game I've watched this year, apart from when they played us. Shows how unappealing an Arsenal game is. To be honest, Arsenal have had prime slots, haven't they, this season, it feels like. Oh, lucky boy there, Nick Pope. Came sliding out and very, very lucky. And now Villa on the counter. Bailey. Unlucky. Newcastle win it back. Ref says play on. Love that. Here's Bailey. Get up. Get up, Tonali. Get up. Oh, he's up and he's fine now. See how quickly that happened? I hate that. I hate that. Hit it. That's a foul and a yellow card. Get him booked, ref. Get him booked. Get him booked. We'll have a yellow card for that. Any chance of a yellow? Bastard. I've watched like 30 Arsenal games this season, around that number. Couldn't tell you how many I've watched. Probably as many of them. They're always on telly though, aren't they? Foxy, there was another player as well from Liverpool. He wasn't great for you, but watched him live, and best player on the pitch for Juve at the San Siro in Milan, Christian Poulsen. He was dreadful. He was absolutely dreadful. Right, he's not booked anyone there. Villa have got a free kick, and it's prime Morgan Rogers territory, this one. This is where Villa can kill the game off if they get a second. He scored from a pretty similar position, actually, against Leeds United here. It's pretty similar to where it is now. Mark Key, you've watched all of them. I don't think I've watched all of them, but probably not too many. Not too many that I've missed. If they've been on at the same time as Liverpool, or there's been another big game on, I've always, Saturday 3 o'clocks. I don't think I've done any of the Arsenal Saturday 3 o'clocks. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Leicester manager Cifuentes has been sacked. Would you like to have Yildiz at Liverpool? I would, yeah. I'd love, yeah. Yildiz is a very, very talented player. I think he'd do well with us. Timbo, bring those Hodgson Liverpool days back. Not Roy Hodgson. Rodgers, free kick. It's on target. Good save from Pope. Straight down the throat. Davey says, I can't believe Dzeko is playing in the second tier in Germany now. I thought he was still at... Was he not? I thought he was at Fiorentina. He was at Fiorentina last season, wasn't he? Newcastle win it back here. Onana. They're flying into tackles here now. This is where I'm going to get my yellow cards, I think. Shamner says, yesterday it was all home games. Today it's away. Your thoughts on Man United today? I think United will get something. Yeah, I think it's going to be a draw. Maybe a Man United win, but I fancy a draw. I don't really want either side to win, but I can accept if they do. Like, if Arsenal win, then that means United have been beaten. That's brilliant. If United win, then great. Arsenal have dropped points in the title race, and it's a bit more interesting. So I can live with either one. I can genuinely live with either outcome at all, but I'd probably prefer a draw with lots of red cards and injuries. Only mild injuries, I will say that. Newcastle chance. Only little, hamstring strains or something like that. Would you rather have current Neymar at right wing or keep Salah at right wing? Neymar's shocking. I wouldn't have Neymar at Liverpool full stop, ever. Even peak Neymar. Peak Neymar doesn't get over this current Salah. Ben says went to Schalke the other day, Dzeko. Oh, did he? That's a big move, though. Still a big club, Schalke. Right, Willock's come on here for Tonali. This is an odd move. Nuka Pluto, why did I bet on Brentford to win? I would have backed Brentford every single day here. I think I did. I think I said Brentford to win. I had 2-2 in this one. What's my prediction so far? Yeah, I'll tell you what predictions I had yesterday. I had West Ham Sunderland 2-2, wrong. Burnley 0, Spurs 2, wrong. Fulham 1, Brighton 1. Forest have scored again. It's 2-0. I won E. Jesus Christ. I had Fulham 1, Brighton 1. That was until Wilson scored late. City 3-0, Wolves. It's probably the only one I kind of got right. Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 2. Less said the better. Brentford 2, Forest 1. That's down the Swanee. Palace 0, Chelsea 2. I got that one right. And Newcastle Villa, I had 2-2 here. 2-2 here. You wouldn't take Prime Neymar at current Liverpool. I'd like to have whatever you're drinking. Prime Neymar, he didn't rate at all. Prime Neymar, yeah, there's 20 better players. We did this yesterday. There's 20 better players than Neymar. Zia Khalid says if United won't win, they go above you. Yes, I think they do, yeah. If United win, won't they go above you? Yeah, I think if they win, they go above us. Foxy says Roque Santa Cruz made his debut yesterday for his new side, Nacional, 44 years old. What a legend. Love that. The rest of the 11-12 City squad have been retired for 5 to 10 years. How on earth is Dzeko still playing? And OH says, who's in your playoffs for the Championship? I think Championship playoffs, I think it's going to be Borough. I think Millwall are going to make it this year. Possibly Bristol City. I would have liked to see Preston in there, but I don't think they will. Yeah, I can't. Palace 1, Chelsea 3. They're back in it. 10 men Palace have somehow got a goal. Richards, I'd imagine, off a set piece. Yeah, I like the look of Millwall. I think Bristol City could sneak in. I think Wrexham have got a chance, of course. But I'd say Millwall, Ipswich, Borough. Millwall, Ipswich, Borough. No, Ipswich, no. Ipswich get the automatics. I think Ipswich get the automatic with Coventry. And I think Borough, Millwall, Hull, Wrexham. Borough, Millwall, Hull, Wrexham. I've never heard anyone say that. My guess is that you're under 25. The majority of... Oh, what a strike! Another corner. Majority of people who seem to rate Neymar under 25 and addicted to FIFA. And love playing Ultimate Team. Timbo, I completely disagree on Neymar. He's become the most disrespected player of his generation just because he's a bit of a dickhead and a diver. One of the most talented players we've ever seen. I can't disagree more strongly. I thought he was awful. I thought he was an absolute show pony. He reminded me of... He was like Nanny. That's what I think Neymar would have been if he'd have come to the Prem. Nanny. He was Nanny. That's what he was. How do you feel that Bromley are 6 points clear of second in League 2? Absolutely flying. Yeah, Bromley doing really, really well. To be honest, I'm looking for... We're doing Lincoln against Bradford on Tuesday night on this channel. I'd like to take a closer look at League 1 and League 2. Hi, Key, what were your thoughts on the Liverpool game yesterday? I missed that stream. Chance, it's 2-0 Villa. They've won it. They've secured it. There you go. Ollie Watkins at the back stick, and it is 2-0. There you go. Villa flying high. And I tell you what, this talk of a title race, it might not be over. Maybe Villa can make something of it. Maybe they can. Who knows? Giro, who do you think's going to win the Europa League? Anyone's guess, that one. Savage you, Forest Hate Watch unsuccessful. I've not done a Forest Hate Watch. Yeah, not for me. I did Forest in midweek though against Braga. Brendan, by any chance do you play FIFA, Timbo? Do you talk a lot about Trivellas by any chance? It's a great ball, and Ollie Watkins at the back stick. It was a lovely header, that. Luca Dean, fantastic. Luca Dean, what a ball in. Eddie Howe, question marks, my friend. Do you think it's getting to the point with Eddie Howe? Is there a chance of change at Newcastle? Neymar is Brazil's top scorer ever. Think of the players Brazil have had. I know, but mate, that's like saying Rooney's. Brazil have played so many like friendlies and nonsensical. It's not the same game anymore. Brazil, I could name you, genuinely, I could name you 20 better attackers than Neymar in my lifetime. 20 better Brazilian attackers than Neymar in my lifetime. He's nowhere near it for me. He's absolutely nowhere near it. Villa are actually title contenders, no questions. Interesting Prem season we're having. To go to Newcastle and win this comfortably is really impressive, I'll say that. Very, very impressive. And actually it moves Villa level on points with City. And still only 4 points behind Arsenal. You know, Arsenal have to go and now get a result against United. Jordan, they better give Richard a contract extension and captain next season. Nobody deserves it more. Voltamada. Come on, we need two quick cards and a Villa goal. You're letting your opinion of Neymar as a person cloud your judgment. It's nothing to do with him as a person. There's a lot of players who are divvies as a person who I didn't like. Could maybe say Suarez is one of them. But honestly, no, Neymar, I never rated him as a player. I always thought he was a show pony. His best years was at Barcelona, where he had peak Messi and peak Suarez alongside him, and I never ever thought he was ever more than just a very decent player. This idea that he's like unbelievable, wow, all-timer, no, terrible for me. Handball, must be handball, must be a handball. How are you not giving that, ref? Oh, it's 8 minutes of added on time. That should have been a penalty to Newcastle. There's going to be a check. There's going to be a check on this one. Oh, hey. Hey, he puts his arm out there, ref. That's got to be a handball. Brendan, if R9 played the number of meaningless games for Brazil that Neymar did, he'd have 200 goals. And Jonas says, the only one who bothers to show up every game and had to fight for his place originally, never complained once, and Spurs can vote on. Yeah, I like Richards. Good player. What about that Neymar versus PSG game? He pulled off one of the most insane performances I've ever seen to win that game. I know, but again, one swallow doesn't make a summer, does it? That's the problem. Too many people looking at one game that he did, and he was unbelievable in that game. And Nani had some good games for United as well. Giro, is Emery the best manager in the Premier League? He's up there. He's definitely up there. OH, I think time's running out for Eddie Howe. And sir, if Arsenal lose, it's going to get very interesting. Jordan, have you seen the dodgy pen decision against us? I haven't yet, mate, no, but I'll have a look at it after this game. Neymar was injured more than he played. When Barcelona won the treble, Neymar was often their biggest producer in the biggest games. People just forget that because of his injury-laden years at PSG. He's at PSG for most of his career, mate. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was ever, like, up there. Like, Rivaldo, Romario, Ronaldinho, streets ahead of him. Absolute streets. Have we had any more yellow cards that I've not seen, maybe? Or are we still only on 2? 2 yellow cards. I need... Oh, has he just been given one? I think Martin's just been given one. Oh, I need one more yellow card and a Newcastle goal. Surely... Do you reckon a Newcastle player could score and run and take his top off when he celebrates? Get him booked. Come on. A yellow card and a Newcastle goal for 50 quid. Shite. Not like that. Liam says, Newcastle wanted Emery before Howe. Imagine if they got him. Fair play. We should have had a pen versus Nottingham. He slapped the ball away with his hand to prevent it going out. Outrageous decision. And Brendan says, Timbo, Neymar was very good that year, but Suarez and Messi were different level. The only game I ever thought Neymar was 6-1 against PSG in 2016. Like I said, I'm not sitting here and saying he was awful. Maybe I need to rephrase some of my language. He wasn't terrible. He definitely had performances in him where he could turn up, but yeah, I think he would have come to the Premier League and he'd have been Nani, an absolute show pony who turned up once in a blue moon. Every version of Messi in any season is better than Neymar ever. I mean, that's a high bar, though, to compare him to Messi. Yeah, he's not beating Messi, but it's just when I see people talking about him like he's in the top 10 players ever, and I'm like, oh, no, he's not top 50 for me. I don't even think he's top 100, I'll be honest. Neymar was finishing top 10 in the Ballon d'Or while still playing for Santos. I don't think we comprehend how ridiculous that is. But that depends how much stock you place on the Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or for me is mega political, and they'll always give it to young players who, are incredibly marketable. It's run by a French magazine, for the love of God. Like, they're always going to give it to players who make them more money in advertising and sponsorship. Barnes, big deflection and wide it goes. Voltemada's arse deflects it wide. 30 added time at Brentford, please, ref. Well, the Newcastle fans are fleeing. They are flocking to the exits. Look at that. Streaming out of St James's Park here. 2-0 down. And they are leaving by the shed load. Absolutely falling apart here. Callum says, do you reckon Postecoglou goes to Palace? I don't. I don't think Postecoglou goes to Palace. But I think that... Oh, I thought that was a yellow card then. Yeah, I don't think Postecoglou goes to Palace, but I think Palace will need a new manager by the end of the month. I think he goes probably after this game. Timbo, no one playing in Brazil gets put in those conversations though, do they? It's only when they go to Europe. Neymar was the exception because his talent was undeniable. I think his PR was a lot greater than his talent. He had a fantastic PR team. That's a goal kick. 2.5 minutes to go at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Villa 2. Don't forget, if you're not already, do a couple of things for me. Hit the like button and also subscribe if you're new around here. Like I said, I am live every single day watching games of football with you. Newcastle and Villa here. Straight after this, Arsenal against Manchester United. Straight after that, Roma against AC Milan. And tomorrow we're doing Leeds away at Everton in the Premier League. Big Monday night football game. Also, we've got a new show coming up. I want to tell everyone about that. Next month, we are launching a new show where I will be inviting other people on, including yourself, other content creators and yourself. Everyone will be getting amongst it to talk about the big issues in the Premier League. So rather than us getting carried away and talking, cross purposes throughout lives like this, I'm hoping that you'll join me on the Premier League panel show that we'll be doing every single week. And discussing all the big issues in the Premier League, not just the top 6, because that's what I see across the across YouTube, across all football content creation. It all seems to be that everyone is talking about the top 6 and what's going on with Liverpool, what's going on with City and Arsenal and United. There's a whole league of clubs and teams and players, and I want to talk about Forest winning away at Brentford. I want to talk about Brentford's unlikely European charge. I want to talk about Brighton and how close they came to the Champions League last year, and how could they maybe bridge that gap next year, this year. There's loads of stories going on around the Premier League that just don't get discussed, and I feel like this is going to be a way to do that. So I'm going to be inviting fans of those clubs in, and hopefully you'll join me. But make sure you've hit the like button, make sure you've subscribed for more of that stuff. Brentford 0, Forest 2 has finished now. Great win that for Forest. That's absolutely incredible. What an unbelievable win that is. Newcastle down the right-hand side. St James's Park is basically empty now. And it is full time. There you go. It is full time. Timbo, we had a great team and FIFA card and also was unbelievable at football, suggesting otherwise is just disingenuous. Egyptonicus, I'll be back for Milan v Roma games. I'll be watching Arsenal v United. Have a great day, Key. Yeah, you too, mate. Take it easy. Jake says, Key, do you think Palace could get dragged into the relegation battle? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Finner says, will this show be during games or when there isn't a game? It'll be probably during, like on a Monday, for example. So tomorrow we've got Leeds and Everton at 8 o'clock kickoff. So I'll start the stream for 7:30, but maybe at about 5:30, we'll have like an hour and a half show where we do talking about the Premier League on maybe a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something like that, where there's no European football on and maybe there's only one game on. And also, please unban my account. I will do that now, mate. I will find out. I don't know where I can have a look at suspended members, but I'll unban it. I will, I promise you. I don't know how that's happened. Apologies. I'll find that and unban you now. Timbo says, take it easy, Key. I'm going to go and watch some Neymar clips. Enjoy. Right, so we are back in literally 15 minutes for Arsenal against Manchester United. Hopefully you'll join me for it. If you haven't yet, make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you've subscribed. I am going to be live in 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes for Arsenal against Man United. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed. And I'll see you in 15. Take it easy. Have a good day.